If you're using some sales script from some 1980s coaching program, you're losing sales every single day. Phone sales scripts that actually convert in 2020 aren't really a script at all. And today, I'm gonna show you exactly how to put together a phone script that you can use to help you convert sales from your existing leads, the ones you already have. We've worked with thousands of coaches from around the world, and the number one thing that they tell us is how authentic it feels to use the process that we teach. So instead of feeling like you're some dirtbag trying to get people to buy from you, you feel like somebody who's helping enroll the person into the vision of the future that they want, that you know that you can help them get. So if you like this video, make sure to click the like button. If you think somebody else might find it useful, make sure to share it. And of course, if you'd like to be notified the next time that a video becomes available, make sure to hit the subscribe button so that you get the little notification in the notification bell in the corner. All right, so today in this quick video, I am going to walk you through writing your own phone sales script that actually converts. Now, it's really key that you understand I'm not a big believer in scripts. In fact, I think it's much better to have a framework and to use the script as a tool that helps you know where you are in the conversation and gives you an idea of the kinds of questions that you need to ask in order to open the prospect up and really understand their situation from start to finish. Now, in previous videos, I've talked about the DCQC process: diagnose, create doubt, qualify, and connect the dots. So you want to think of each of those sections and have a little mini script for each one. So let's start with the diagnose process. So grab a pen and let's get started. So when it comes to diagnosing, what you want to do is start thinking, what are the questions that I would generally ask to understand the situation of the prospect that I'm speaking with? So for example, if you're a health coach, you're going to want to understand what are the situation that they're actually in. Like, is it that they want to lose weight? Is it they want to build six-pack abs? Is it they're dealing with some sort of underlying health conditions? You want to understand what is the reason that they're actually on the phone. So one of the first things to ask is something open-ended that'll give you an idea of what is the reason they've shown up to speak with you today. So something like, okay, so tell me a little bit of what's not working right now for you in relation to your health goals that brought you to this call today. That's going to kind of give you a sort of brief understanding of where they're starting and what's the reason they're on the call. Now, one of the things that you're going to need to do is ask a lot of follow-up questions. So the first thing I want you to do now is start by just putting down all the general questions that you need to ask in order to diagnose the problem. So go ahead and pause the video for just a second and brainstorm a list of all of those diagnosed questions. Okay, so hopefully you're back and you've got a nice long list of questions that are going to help you to diagnose the problem. Things like, hey, tell me a little bit about what it is you want to achieve. Why do you think you haven't achieved those things yet? If that's not on your list, let's add that to your list now. Other questions that are going to really help you understand their situation, understand why it's a problem for them, and then don't forget the implications of the problem as well. What are the implications of the problem? For example, maybe the reason that they want to lose weight and get healthier is because they really want to find that special someone and they don't have the confidence to go out and date. Or maybe it's that they really want that next promotion at work, but whenever they have to get up in front of a crowd, they think about how they don't like the way they look in their dress clothes. And so again, back to confidence. Maybe it's that they really don't have the energy to keep up with their kids, or they're afraid that they're gonna die of a heart attack before their daughter gets married, right? You need to understand not only what are the problems they're experiencing, but what are the implications? What are the costs, the consequences, the reasons that they want to solve those problems? So make sure, if you need to stop the video and go back and look over your list and make sure you've got all of those questions. And then there's a couple of phrases I want you to put down as well that are going to help you to get deeper into whatever it is that's going on with them throughout your script, throughout your conversation. And one of my favorite ones is, tell me more about that. Now, people don't use this very often, but you should. You should be using it all of the time on your sales calls, because when you ask people to tell you more, they expand. And you want to, again, if you've watched any of our other videos on phone sales tonality and inflection, you want to use your voice to ask that question, right? So tell me more about that. ooh, why do you think that is? So tell me more about that. Why do you think that is? What's the reason that you think that keeps happening? What's it like to have that keep coming up? Just some of those like simple questions that you can use to get them to expand on whatever it is that they've already said. So that's the first part of really the diagnose. Now we want to actually create doubt. Now, in order to create doubt, you want to have some simple questions. And again, it's going to be different for anyone watching this video depending on the type of prospect that you're talking to and whatever it is that you sell. But in order to create doubt, one of the things that you want to understand is, what have they tried before? Why do they think it hasn't worked in the past? What is the reason that they think that they haven't gotten the result? What do they feel like the biggest obstacle is that's been standing in their way? Do they think that they can actually solve this problem on their own? Or do they feel like they need some support or some guidance? What is it exactly in the support or guidance that they feel like is going to help them finally get the result? So take just a minute, pause the video, and now make a list of all of the doubt-creating questions that you might ask. Okay, hopefully you've got a nice long list of doubt questions as well as a nice long list of diagnose questions. Now we want to make sure that we qualify the prospect. And this is one of the most overlooked steps in the sales process because, as I've said in previous videos, a lot of people just want to make the sale and they're less concerned on whether or not the person qualifies. Qualifies means they've got a credit card. Well, we don't want to do that. We want to make sure there's somebody we actually want to work with. We want to make sure there's somebody who is truly wanting to get the result, because if they're not, then they're not going to invest in getting the result with you. So you want to make sure and understand those kinds of things. Are they the kind of person that is going to do what you tell them to do, is going to take action, is going to trust you in following your lead to get the result that they want to get? So take just a minute and brainstorm a list of all of the things that it takes to qualify to work with you. So for example, what are the minimum requirements that they must have in order to be somebody that you can help? Brainstorm that list, put all of that down. Also include all of the questions that you want to understand whether or not they're the kind of person that you would enjoy working with. And whatever those are, again, take a few minutes, brainstorm exactly what it is that makes a good prospect for you, somebody that you actually enjoy working with. And while you're at it, not a bad idea to brainstorm all the things you don't want to work with. Because the more clear you are on what you do want and what you don't want, the easier it's going to be when you're on a sales call to qualify the person and make sure there's somebody that you actually are going to enjoy working with, that you're going to be able to get the result for. So take just a minute and brainstorm exactly what you want in a quality person to work with you, and then you can come up with questions from there. So pause the video and take just a minute to do that. Okay, now this last piece is connecting the dots. Now, this isn't really just a list of questions. What we want to do here is we want to think, what are the steps that it takes to get the result of working with you? Now, these might vary depending on the client, as some clients might be slightly different. So if you've got a few different kinds of clients that you use different steps, then make sure that you do one for each of these. And then the nice thing is, once you've done this, it's going to be much easier to stay in flow when you're on a call with a specific prospect that needs those specific steps. So take a moment, and I want you to just pause the video and brainstorm for each of the different types of clients that show up. What are the steps that it takes to get them from where they are now to wherever it is that they want to be? So take just a minute and brainstorm those steps. And you want about 3 to 5 steps. You don't want to be any more than that. So hopefully you've now got a list of 3 to 5 steps. So what we want to do in connecting the dots is we want to make sure that the steps align with the person that we're talking to. So we want to connect for them how those specific steps are going to solve their specific problems. Now, a great example of this, I'm going to use a business offer. You've talked to somebody, and one of the things that they've said is that they really want more time. And it's taking way too much time in order to fulfill their service for their clients. And maybe they're going to get your help to reduce the amount of time it takes to work with clients and still help them get great results. So you are wanting to share with them what that's going to look like in reducing their fulfillment. Well, you don't want to just say, oh, step 1 is we're going to tweak your fulfillment so that you can do it in less time. Well, that might be the step, but why do they care? Right? So we want to connect that back to what they said. Maybe what they said is the reason that they want more time is because they're missing out on that quality time with their spouse or their kids. Or maybe they really like to do adventure travel and they're not able to travel the way that they used to. Whatever it is, you want to connect back and go, okay, so step 2 is we're going to work on your fulfillment. We're going to streamline that down, which is going to allow you to get your clients the same results or even better in less time. And that's going to free you up so that you can take that vacation to Hawaii that you mentioned that your friends took last year that you had to skip. Right? So we want to connect that step to how it's going to solve their specific problem. And that's what we want to do throughout the Connect the Dots. So the truth is, when it comes to scripts, there isn't just some magic script that you can read from start to finish that's going to make people lie down at your feet and hand you their credit cards, right? The truth is that we need to understand the prospect that we're talking to. And the best way to do that is to really take the time to think about who it is that's showing up on the phone and what are the questions that we need to ask to diagnose their problem and the implications of their problem. You know, what are the doubts that they've got about their ability to solve the problem on their own? And are they the kind of person that can truly get the result in working with you? And we want to make sure we've got a script, we've got a list of questions, we've got an understanding of all of that stuff by the end of the call. Now, even if you've got this perfect script, you want to be able to leave the script and make sure that you can truly give yourself a thumbs up that, yeah, I understand what this person is saying. I understand what's going on. I understand their doubts, their fears. And they are definitely the kind of person that I'd like working with and who would like working with me and who can get the result. And once you've got all of that, then you just need to connect the dots for them. So now, if you'd like us to take a look at your script, follow the link in the description box below and send it into our team so that we can take a look and give you some feedback once you've followed this process and actually done everything that we've said in the video. Now, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe so that you get notified with the little notification bell in the corner. Make sure to like this video if you found it helpful. And of course, go ahead and share this video if you think that you know somebody that could benefit from everything we've taught here today.